Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Century 3, how does that song go? Century 3, Chevrolet, Lebanon Church.
Century 3, Lebanon Church Road, Pittsburgh.
Minutes from the mall.
Yeah.
That's the only part I remember is the end, the minutes from the mall. While I was getting ready and I was singing, I get my shoes from David's Shoes and he's Liberty. And I thought to myself, what's a more noticeable Pittsburgh commercial? And it would be that Century 3 Chevrolet, Lebanon Church from Pittsburgh, minutes from the mall is how it goes.
Yep.
Those will never die. They'll never.
No.
It might get a little fuzzy up there as the age goes up, but the songs themselves will never die. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode like 799. Somewhere there was a mix-up, and I was on 797 yesterday during episode 798, and any way you slice it, Mike, we are hitting season 8 this week. Today is 799. We're going to be cracking into the new season tomorrow, guys, as we hit the 800th episode here at the end of the week. Good morning, everybody. A lot of things to talk about today. A lot of things happened since the last time we talked. Mike, let me start off by just saying this, non-sports related. I got to say about the Cracker Barrel. What assholes. They went back to the original logo.
Right.
So what they did, they came out, they caused some trouble, and now they go back to the regular logo, and like it never happened. So after those assholes is all I got to say when it comes to the Cracker Barrel. Yeah,
they changed the logo, and they also changed like the inside of the building, the atmosphere. But they're not changing that. I want the atmosphere. I want that old Southern atmosphere. Am I in the right place? Am I comfortable here or not? That's the kind of attitude I want.
It was just odd to me. Again, I mean, you've seen all the controversy over the past week or whatever it was, 10 days, and you think to yourself, I seen yesterday they're going back to the original Cracker Barrel logo. It's not even being changed. Like, they made a decision. They said, after seeing the response by customers, blah, 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 we're going to leave it the same, blah, 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 bullshit. Just enough to get everybody all worked up and at each other's throats. But anyway, you slice it, guys. Here in Pittsburgh,
get their name out there.
You know what? That's what I thought. At the end of the day, they benefited the most out of this because everybody said those two words Cracker Barrel over the past 10 days, no matter if you go there, whether you don't, whether you ever talk about this place. So you know what? It worked on their end, Mike. I'm sure they're getting a lot of business from it.
Ploy.
Not bad.
No,
Let's say we're changing our logo. Or
you know, like Eric Bischoff always said, controversy sells.
Absolutely. More than controversy and sex more than anything. Good morning. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Great to see everybody here on the board. Great to see everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see what's going on the board today. John, what's up, brother? He said, I thought Bishop could be cut. He was right. Yes, you were. Bishop will probably be back. I don't, again, it just depends on a few things that happens here. But if not, Mike, maybe, just maybe the Pitt Panthers football team will be at ease because of the Beanie Bishop Pitt Panther rivalry, Mike, that did kind of rear its head this past offseason. We'll get a little bit more into that as the show goes on. I do want to say good morning to Corey Beavers. Corey says, good morning, guys. Just listen to Kamboli's hungry ass, and someone called him out on his 12-day prediction, and he says, stop being so literal. Stop being so literal.
No.
I wonder if he takes that into consideration when he goes to the buffet and it says eat all you can eat. I'm sure he eats all he can eat. Come on, man. Whack job. You whack job. He couldn't explain his lack accuracy, so he got mad. That sounds right. I applaud you, Corey, for bringing that information back. Thank you, sir. Great seeing you on the board. RB, my man, what's up, brother? He says, good morning, guys. I'm kind of pissed off today. I'm trying to trust the process, but it's hard when they keep 7 DBs. Killebrew isn't a DB. He offers nothing on D and keeps 8 F&D linemen. All right, we'll get into that shortly. RB, I feel you, man. My mommy's on the board. Good morning, mommy. I do want to say hi, my mommy. My mommy says, good morning, Mike and Ryan.
Good morning.
Hi, mommy. I love you.
You best be on your best behavior now.
I'm sorry, RB says, Mike, they canceled further renovations. John says they're trying to mirror the Eagles with the DO line rotation. I am not sure they aren't done addressing DBs. Let's see what happens. Also, guys, after the trade, after the cut downs, after the rosters were exposed yesterday and finalized, it finishes out that the Steelers are the second oldest team in the league, and the Eagles, that's right, are the youngest. So they say that we're kind of copying the code, the mold of what the Eagles are doing, so to speak, but something of the ages would speak otherwise. Of course, we'll get more into that in just a sec. John says rage sells more than sex. Fact. RB says, hey now, it's play controversy creates cat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Corey says, I'm the perfect informant. I keep receipts. We appreciate you. You were an invaluable part of the show, Corey. RB says, laugh my ass off. Did you hear about DK yesterday? The reporter, he must have been listening to the show yesterday. He was explaining why people get cut besides football reasons. Explain how a few years ago a guy banged another wife's players. I didn't hear that, but it sounds classic. I'm sorry, RB. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show, Mike. One thing I do want to say that I thought was really interesting, Mike, before I get into this deal, it's going to be about 30 seconds. So just relax. Yeah. Don't kill me. Don't tar and feather me here, Mike. But this is an interesting thing that's going to go down this weekend here in Pittsburgh. A lot of people don't realize this, Mike, just because. But this is what's going down in Pittsburgh. Let me pull it up real quick just so I don't misquote it, Mike. This Duquesne this weekend. Duquesne is playing at Pittsburgh, okay, at Pitt. Duquesne at Pitt college football. Duquesne at Pitt may be the first college football game in history where students from the visiting team can walk from the campus to the game, but students from the home team cannot. How interesting is that? I mean, you're not going to walk from Oakland, of course, and the home team certainly isn't going to walk. And of course,
hell no.
Duquesne Dukes can make that walk. But I just thought that was interesting.
That's yeah, like that is wild like too. This. Like if you're not from Pittsburgh, you don't realize how far away the actual university is from the stadium.
Yeah, you're right. You don't. And then, you go and you're like, holy shit, Pitt's all the way over here. But yes, guys, good morning. Welcome back. The cut down day. We have a roster. We have a 53-man. It's going to change a little bit here and there, Mike. There's some speculation of things that may go on as far as trade, receivers, of all these rumors that we are going to talk about today as the show goes on. that are happening, Mike, and then also everything that comes down to the IR and how we're going to fit certain players to make this 53-man roster, Mike. Surprises? I don't know. I think I got to be honest with you. Basically, when you come down to trying to figure out a 53-man roster, it's not that difficult. You got your 99% of the guys that you know are going to be there, and you're basically just trying to go through all the rest of the guys, see who may not be back and who aren't on the team that may make it. And it's usually one or not a lot of guys, a few guys.
Yeah.
We'll get into all that this morning. Good morning, Richard on the board. Great to see you as well, sir. Always great to see everybody on our fantastic board here on this hump day. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So, Mike, it came down to it yesterday. We kept everybody on alert, and we're going to do it again today. Mike does have the real-time alert going on. He's keeping his eye on everything as we go, just in case anything does happen or pop up in the meantime. We don't want anybody to miss anything. We're going to be on top of it all day to make sure that happens, Mike. Here is a list of the final cuts yesterday. See if any of these names surprise you guys. And again, we're going to get into why some of these guys will there's a pretty good chance they're going to be wearing the black and gold in the very near future. Excuse me, everybody. Mike, DeMarvin Leal, which of course we talked about yesterday. Beanie Bishop, Mike, the slot corner is something that was talked about heavily by Pittsburgh analysts. And there was a lot of speculation that he might have been cut. And then once you hear his numbers compared to Connor Hayward's, you might be scratching your head. Also, Mike, Chuck Clark, we bring him over while building our secondary, a little bit of depth at safety, and he ends up being on the cut list. James Pierre, somebody that you and I both agreed was probably going to be hitting the exit side, hitting the exit door. When this is all said and done. Sebastian Castro gone, Brandon Johnson gone, Robert Woods gone, Keshawn Williams, Max Sharping, Trey Sermon, Dominique Davis. Mike, those are some of the final cuts to round out the 53-man roster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of things to talk about, Mike, with this, though. I mean, again, not much change, but still a lot to talk about. Mike, let's get into a few of these guys. There's a few names certainly that we haven't heard the end of, I think, as this process takes place. And again, we are only 11 days until we kick off against the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium to kick off the 2025 NFL campaign for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's get into it, Mike. I'm going to start off with Beanie Bishop, James Pierre. Let's start with those two. Let's start in the secondary today, Mike. Yeah. James Pierre and Beanie Bishop. How do you feel about these two guys getting cut, and are they going to be back?
I think Beanie Bishop will be back. I just have a feeling he's going to make the team. They're going to try and get him onto the practice squad. I think that James Pierre, I don't think he comes back unless there's another move being made. I just don't see it because we kept Dante. Well, we did keep Dante Kent, but he might go into the IR as well. So I'm not sure. I don't think James Pierre comes back. I think Beanie Bishop comes back onto the practice squad. Yeah, that's about it on those two. I just don't see James Pierre coming back, even before he's on special teams. I think they'll find someone else to fill in on that spot. But
you think they were just trying to get rid of? You think they were just trying to get rid of him eventually? I mean,
I think so.
Kind of been dead weight these past couple of years, and
if had anything, they with Corey Trice going the IR, maybe they bring him back for those 4 games. But I just don't see him coming back. I just don't see it. I just don't see how he comes back.
Mike, I'm looking at Beanie Bishop's numbers here from last year, his rookie season. I don't remember who led the team in interceptions, but Beanie Bishop did have 4 interceptions, 2 tackles for losses, and a fumble recovery as a rookie up against Connor Hayward, 6 catches for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. One guy certainly a lot more productive than the other at the end of the day, Mike. Beanie Bishop is the thing was, he was good enough last year. He made it as an undrafted free agent, and he did very well. Again, 4 interceptions, Mike, as a rookie. And, that's exceptional. You think any other teams are around the league peeping these numbers and saying, you know what, we could sure use this guy?
Maybe, but, when who came back? Who did we get back from Detroit that left? Cam Sutton came back.
Yeah.
Beanie Bishop's his time was a very limited at that point once Sutton came back, and then Sutton wasn't that good, and Bishop wasn't beating him out, and then his play at the end of last year and even into this preseason, he was not looking that good. You can see why he went undrafted, but there is potential there for him. So a team might try to sneak them on, might grab him onto their practice squad, but I don't think he makes a 53-man roster. I think he makes a practice squad, and I think it will be back in the Pittsburgh.
At what point do you say is somebody that's bringing these guys in, you know what, as a rookie, as an undrafted, he, again, I don't recall. I think the other corner led the way with interceptions. I could be wrong, but for him, Mike, that certainly was up there and leading the way. At what point do we see a corner that comes in undrafted, gets 4 interceptions as a rookie, and you say it might not be that good? I don't know why we do this. Is that
that's just showing how much we've upgraded that room. Like these guys, the 4 interceptions look nice, but you turn on the game film and watch it from start to finish, and he his coverage was not that great. He was getting beat, starting to get beat by guys. So now we have Darius, we have Jalen Ramsey. Now we have Brandon Eccles, Corey Trice coming back, Dante Kent. What might have been looking better in practice than what they saw from Beanie Bishop. So, sometimes, stats are good, but game film doesn't lie. Stats can be, we can do a lot with numbers, but you can't edit the film to look good.
And I'm going to be perfectly honest by saying this. I didn't watch the game film. I didn't go back and watch Beanie's performance, but I don't remember myself saying, you know what, this rookie is somebody that we cannot have on his team anymore. I said to myself, every time I turned around, this guy was intercepting a ball. Again, overachieving and thinking, okay, this guy might be a good pro. So at some point numbers have to mean something, because again, all season long last year, Mike, that was not, and I could verify, not something that people went on and on about was Beanie Bishop's performance.
No, but then people sat back and then watched his performance. The coaches watched his performance, and they watched the performance of everyone else that they had, and they felt like he just didn't perform.
James Pierre managed to stick around all those years.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I just wanted to make that clear, guys. Mike, let me pull up the list. We are going to get into the roster. No reason to waste any more time. You know what? A matter of fact, we'll grab some more of these messages, and then we will hop on the final roster and get into a lot of the detail on what may or may not happen moving forward for the team. Let me get back down here to where we are on the board, and I'm going to go to RB, where he says, right here, Will Howard still not on the IR, tells me something is on the horizon. Green Bay, the Giants, Jacksonville, Arizona, apparently looking for a quarterback. I think we have a little scoop into that. We'll get into that in just a second. He follows it also by saying also a few offensive linemen with upside have been cut. Tackle Jalen Duncan, offensive guard and center Cole Strange. Tortilla says, no way we're keeping the roster like this. RB says wide receivers Trey Palmer, Malachi Corley are names to watch for as well. We do have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers out there fishing around a little bit. We'll get into that shortly as well for some wide receivers. Taking it into his own hands, going over, his necessary duties and over the head of other people that should be doing these things. We'll get into that in just a second. Corey Beaver said they should have never brought Trice back. He can't stay healthy. He's a waste of a roster spot potential. Don't mean shit when you don't play. RB says, I think a bad team signs Beanie on their 53. Just my opinion. I think they're going to look at his numbers. They're going to say, you know what, we need somebody. He had 4 interceptions as a rookie. There's guys on our team that are number 1 corners that still don't have 4 interceptions. So, you know what I'm saying? The guy was kind of good. He, when it come down to it, he was doing the things that you want young cornerbacks to do, but apparently his tape was bad. I don't know. We'll certainly look into that. Tortilla says, Corey, he's still on contract. Doesn't hurt to see if he can stay healthy. John says Howard had no tape against the Stringers. Thompson did. There's no situation where Howard will be put in a position to succeed this year. Absolutely not. I wouldn't be waiting on that if you are a Howard fan.
No, he's going to be holding that clipboard, baby.
Absolutely. Tortilla says Bishop and Jackson had picks, but they were also getting burnt all season long. Most of the picks they got were tip balls. Dante Jackson, that must have been who the leader was.
Yeah, Dante Jackson, yeah.
Or did he have like 5?
Yeah, I think he had like 6 or something like that. It was up there.
I know they were right around the same number because it was surprising that Beanie had all these interceptions as a rookie. Again, I don't know. RB says interceptions as a stat is overrated. Dig leads the NFL in INTs over the last 3 seasons, but also has the highest catch rate given up percent. Yeah, and that's the thing. And you could, take what we're saying about anybody and really take the numbers and use them against people if you really wanted to, and use them for people. That's the beauty of numbers. Again, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to strike that match. Let's move on. John says, I think the same when folks bring up Rodgers stats from year to year. His QB rating is what matters. John, welcome to you also on the board, sir. In case I did forget, Sticky B. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Sticky B on the board. What you know about Sticky B?
There we go.
He says, I'm surprised they held on to 4 quarterbacks. They have it's a very unique situation that's going on with these quarterbacks. No two ways about it, guys. It's no two ways about it. John says, Rodgers' go-to this guy was Miller, hence he made the cut. And I got to be honest with you, if you look around the NFL wide receiver rooms, we are rocking a JV room. Whether these under the guys that are, that you want to see do better, they're just 3s to 5s. The fact of the matter, Mike, none of these guys are 2s in this league, and anywhere else, they're not 2s either. Again, that search goes on, but again, we do have a little bit of scoop up to moment on that. And Tortilla says Beanie wasn't bad. He was good enough to just to play only slot. That's kind of what I'm saying. So whenever he's not the best and only plays one spot, it's super easy to lose your job. Corey says, so we're shitting on guys for being in the right place at the right time. LOL must be the picks. We're off tips. You got to still have the awareness. I know some guys are always in the right place at the right time. They just have that ability. It's just there's some athletes that have that. I never can explain it. I never could be that guy. But there's always a guy that always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and he just kind of seemed to be him. Again, he may be back. So, I don't know if people are putting too much emphasis on this Beanie Bishop getting cut thing, but we surely will see. And Tortilla says we're probably going to put Will Howard at tight end, only reasonable option. And he follows it up by saying, at Corey, yeah, no one's shitting on the picks. We're just shitting on all the times he got burnt every game. Which again, that I think the whole secondary looked like shit when it came time to getting burnt. Again, let's move on. I don't want to shit on the good things that we do have. We could split hairs and atoms all day, and I'll be right eventually if we do that. But let's get into this, Mike. This is what the roster looks like as of right now. Let's do a quick rundown through it. Then we'll talk about everything, Mike. The quarterback room, as everybody's mentioning on the board, we do have 4 quarterbacks. They are listed as this: Aaron Rodgers, number 1, Mason Rudolph, number 2, Skylar Thompson, 3, Will Howard, number 4. Mike, that is our quarterback room. And let's hop down to the running. Okay, So again, keeping 4 quarterbacks is something that we did talk about leading up to this, Mike. Yeah. I didn't think that they were going to do it, but so far, I don't think any surprises. Mike, quarterback room, this is something that is certainly, as of late, with the injury of Howard, nobody's surprised that maybe people are surprised. Maybe they just don't agree with keeping 4 QBs. Again, we'll get back to that with all the details just a momentarily.
Yeah.
Running backs, Mike, Jalen Warren, number 1, Kenneth Gainwell, number 2, Caleb Johnson, number 3. Again, no surprises at all. If you would have had me fill out a form with every position available, that would have been my running back room as well. Now, this is where your JV wide receivers comes along, Mike. DK Metcalf. Again, if we don't think they're JV, let's take DK Metcalf out of it. Let's give him an ACL sprain. Let's take him out for 16 games and look at the rest of what we're working with. This is the best that we have to go against the best corners, best DBs, best secondaries, best defenses in the league, guys. This would be your wide receiver room. Again, DK Metcalf, number 1. And then we kept 5 altogether. Number 2, Roman Wilson, 3, Calvin Austin, the 3rd, 4, Scotty Miller, 5, Ben Skoranek. So minus DK Metcalf, your wide receiver room is this: Ben Skoranek, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin, and Roman Wilson. Compared to what's out there, guys, that's pretty JV to me, unless some of these guys really step it up and have perhaps an all-pro type season. Again, just interesting. And this is telling me maybe, just maybe, Mike, 10 to 12 days, 1 to 3 days, 7 to 4 months. I don't care what it is. They may make some kind of move, Mike, as
2 weeks.
Again, we have 11 days till we play football.
2 weeks.
And again, there are some things that were said yesterday that would make us believe that they're possibly going to continue to pursue that position, Mike. So we will get into that, obviously. Our tight end room looks like this. We did keep 4. Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, Darnell Washington, and Connor Hayward. The offensive line on our final 53 is Broderick Jones, Mason McCormick, Zach Frazier, Isaac Siamalu, Troy Fatanu are your starters, and then your backups, your depth are Spencer Anderson, Calvin Anderson, Ryan McCollum, and Andrus Peat. So Pete does make the 53,
Yep.
man. You like that, right, Mike?
I like that because he was a Pro Bowler at tackle and guard. And he's still a productive offensive lineman. I like it, and I liked what we saw from McCollum last year and what we saw from Spencer Anderson last year. I like that depth. The only one that I was surprised who made it was Calvin Anderson. I know they liked him in free agency when they brought him over as a depth piece, and he was injured a little bit, so I was surprised he made it. But you know what, for depth, they got guys that can, a couple guys that I'm not opposed to. Like if they have to start for a couple weeks, I think we'll be okay.
All right, let's hop over to the other side of the ball, Mike. The defensive line. Your defensive line looks like this: Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, Derek Harmon, Y.A. Black, Daniel Akule, Logan Lee, Isaac Loudermilk, and Azezi Tawawimo.
You almost had that, bro.
I almost had it. I just come to the fact that I'll never get it, and I live with it. Like, that is what your defensive line looks like. Still, right now, a lot of questions with this defensive line. Again, we'll get more into this as we go. This is your linebacker room. Mike, this is where I'm satisfied. I think top to bottom, this is a strong-ass linebacker room. This reminds me when Dallas had all those white guys. It kind of surprised you that they were like the best linebacking core. That's what this puts me in mind of, and I'm just kind of hoping that it works to our advantage the way that it worked for them. But I can see how it can't, Mike. But let me get into the names. This is our linebacker room. This is outside and inside linebackers as we speak, guys. Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, Malik Harrison, Cole Holcomb, Carson Bruner, who makes the cut. Mike, another one that I don't remember if it was we, but I certainly said Bruner's going to be on this team by his special teams play. Yep. TJ Watt, of course, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, still dealing with his injury, and Jack Sawyer. Mike, that's a pretty tough. Again, a lot of pale skins in there, which again, usually, I don't know, when I'm putting a team together, I try to keep it to a minimum. But I got to be honest with you, this seems like a group of guys that can somewhat duplicate what it was the Cowboys were able to do with that group of guys that they had.
The only one of Team White I'm worried about is Jack Sawyer. I don't know if he has the athleticism, but he might have the strength and grit, as they like to say, to make an impact. But we'll see there. And like Malik Harrison, I really like that pick because he can play inside. He edge rushed a little bit last year for Baltimore. So if Sawyer's struggling a little bit, we can flip Harrison out there to back up what. I like this linebacking room.
All right, let's get back to the cornerbacks, Mike. We carried five cornerbacks carried. They are Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay, Brandon Eccles, and Dante Kent. Mike, any surprise about the Dante Kent keep here?
Yeah, I thought he would be one that they would cut and put onto the practice squad, just because we didn't see a whole lot of Dante Kent.
Mike, did you think that maybe we would have seen more? What was the guy? Rock? What was his name? Rock
Taylor. He was
Taylor.
He was the receiver.
He was the receiver. Now, did you think that? I thought that Rock Taylor had a better chance of making this team than Dante Kent.
Me too.
Early on, and then apparently, I think what happened was Rock Taylor was told that he had to shave James Harrison's back.
Yeah,
that's what. Because remember,
it
was really early. It wasn't even when the cuts came. He got the hell out of Dodge. But yes, Mike, Dante Kent was one that I'm just looking at these names. I thought he was going to be gone. I thought Rock Taylor might be a guy that could make it just because of what was going on with the receiver room. So those two guys were interchangeable for me personally while trying to figure out who I thought was going to make the final.
Yeah, I had on my projection. I think I had Dante Kent going onto the practice squad.
Okay,
because we didn't see a whole lot of him, and I know they were high on him, but
Mike, listen,
I just he's the one on this roster right now. That's the head scratcher to me.
All right, let's get to the next, Mike. Let's get to safeties. We did keep three safeties.
Yeah.
Three safeties, of course, Deshaun Elliott. You're starting strong. No surprises there. Juan Thornhill, Mike, who a lot of people hope have a big year, and I think he certainly has the potential to have a big year. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And, of course, the special teams guru, Mike Miles Killebrew, isn't going anywhere just because he's an all-pro special teams guy. How do you justify getting rid of that guy? I say that you don't, Mike. And then finally, we finish with these special teams. Of course, Chris Boswell is the place kicker on the squad. Corliss Waitman does win the punters contest, Mike, as he becomes the punter once again for the Steelers. And finally, Christian Kuntz, who is working his way back to health after getting injured in the early preseason, Mike. And he is, of course, the long snapper. So, that's one of the most underrated positions in my opinion. Because if your long snapper isn't healthy, believe me, you know it. Your team knows it. Your fans know it. And the results show it. Mike, so let's pray and hope that Christian Kuntz does get back to full health and he can get back out there. And he's saying this, Mike, he's saying, I'm willing to play through pain. This guy is a Steeler. This guy is from Pittsburgh. There's no reason not to like Christian Kuntz.
I love Christian Kuntz. We haven't had to worry about, a long snapper in a long time before, because I forget who's the guy before him, like Greg Warren, I think it was, then Kuntz. Like, we had a nice succession of long snappers. It was kind of like, back in the day when we had a great center year after year. We're having a nice little run with long snappers here. And my God, like you said, if you don't have a good one, you can tell it affects, field goals, extra points, everything. Punting.
I do want to say good morning to a couple more people on the board as they roll in this morning. I just want to say good morning to Jen. Always great seeing Jen.
What up, Jen?
Super fan of the two dumb Yinzers. Jen, welcome onto the board as always. And Finch, my main man, the host of the Three Gooners, joining us this morning as well. Always great seeing Finch on the board. Hope everybody's doing well on this hump day as we are down to 11. That's right, just 11 days, 11 more sleeps until it's time to kick the ball off in New Jersey, Mike, at MetLife Stadium against the Jets. I can't wait. A lot of things said about this game has been said over the past 24 hours that we're going to get into shortly. So let's catch up on some messages, Mike, is what we're going to do. We just went through the final 53. Let's get through the messages, and then we're going to get into this, a lot of scoop that we've gotten about a lot of these things that people are bringing up on the board. A lot of good questions, I do have to say, and I don't want to miss anything today. So let's get on it.
Let's do it.
Right here, I'm going to go to John. John says Bishop isn't big enough man for man-to-man. They play to go less zone and blitz. He could be a victim of the new scheme. RB says, you see old cockhead, Ironhead Cam said he's willing to retire if they don't fix his deal. Bye-bye, Cam.
What?
I didn't see this, but I got to be honest with you. With YA Black on my roster, don't play with me. Don't play with me, Cam.
Wow.
I didn't, but geez, if that come on, don't play that game. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. All of a sudden, you had your chance to play contract. You know how things change every year. And again, when you did this on your way out of the meeting last year, maybe you should have worked on instead of tongue-in-cheek shit. I don't know. Just in my opinion, this is not the time to be dealing with Cam Hayward's contract. In my opinion, I don't think he shouldn't get paid. Whatever. Again, not my money. Do what you want with the guy. But at the end of the day, Mike, I'm fine with a YA Black on my defensive line, getting him a lot more playing time than maybe was initially expected.
Me too.
Corey Beaver says if we don't sign another guy, then Wilson better be the second coming of Larry Fitzgerald. You know what? That's particularly one of the guys that has been brought up, Mike. I do like his name. Of course, Marquez.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, I was. Hold on.
Well, let me use my joke anyway.
Alert.
Oh, this is alert. This is going on now.
This is happening now.
Okay,
he is going to San Francisco. I think they have like one healthy wide receiver, so he's going there. I think
that option there yesterday, guys. That a lot of people were talking about the Marquez Valdez Scantling, which I like to call him Marquez Juan Scantling. Or what was it? Juan Valdez Scantling.
Mike, I'm glad he left.
He is off the table, Mike, as we are running out of options more and more, possibly going into a second season without having a legit wide receiver too. Again, this blows my mind that this hasn't been taken care of in 2 seasons. Again, unless they have this master plan where they're going to come out and do something, guys. I don't understand. I can't understand how you overturn every stone except this one yet again.
Who was Kansas City's wide receiver too when they won their first 2 Super Bowls?
I don't even know their wide receiver. Listen, I don't know anything about Kansas City. I know
it was Mahomes and Kelsey, and then figure out whichever wide receivers open at that point.
I do know this, Mike. In the time that Aaron Rodgers did play with Marquez Valdez Scantling, Juan Valdez Scantling, he went 118 for 236 for 2,091 yards, 13 touchdowns and 33 explosive plays. So, I mean, this is somebody that could certainly pair it up well with our quarterback. Nobody out there has better experience that's available, Mike, than him. Again, this is off of performance now, off of tape and things that they've done together. And we are, again, the second oldest team, Mike, so it's not out of the question to make this move. But anyway, that is out of the question, as Mike did come up with the update real time. Marquez Juan Valdez-Scantling is off to San Francisco as they are having major wide receiver issues out west.
Yeah, I think their most healthy receiver is Ricky Parasol, and he's still recovering from gunshot wounds.
And the thing was, remember 2 years ago, they were loaded. They were running
they had a deep receiving core.
They were passing all over us like we didn't even exist.
Now they got nothing.
Look at you now, you
cockroaches. So we're doing a lot better than them.
Well,
we got that going for us, which is nice.
Right now, we ain't playing the games yet. We will see on that. Let's get back to some messages here. Great messages as always on the board. Right here, Tortilla. It's like a broke clock that's right twice a day. Sure, you got it right a few times, but most of the time, you're a liability. I like Beanie as a backup, but if someone else can take his spot, no worries. RB says, I'm an absolute minority here, but if you need a wide receiver, if Daubs, Corley, Palmer, or Myers are available, I think Austin should be the first to go. Just my opinion. He's too small to be an impact wide receiver. I just listen. I don't want anyone else to go. We need more weapons. Mike, again, you want as many weapons as you could possibly have, and we're rocking with a JV, getting a JV receiver room.
I don't know, like the love affair I'm seeing online with Corley and Palmer. Like Calvin Austin has better stats than those guys in the NFL. He's putting up better production than those guys. Like they have prototypical size that you would see in the NFL, but they haven't put up the production for it. Like for me, those guys are not an answer. They're just a guy on the roster.
Another weapon. We need weapons.
I don't know if they're another weapons. I don't know if Corley or Palmer would beat out Scotty Miller at this point.
Mike, at this point, we just need something. We need something. The fact that we're going in with nothing, basically. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans are going to sit here and go, well, you know what? Calvin Austin's really good. And Roman Wilson has the potential. We've seen him catch 4 balls in preseason. But that's not enough. That's not enough when the games start to count. You need weapons. You need people that can produce, make plays. And again, I'm sorry if DK Metcalf goes down with the long term, we got a shit wide receiver room. The fact that we have DK makes it not a shit wide receiver room. So I say if you take him out, you really don't have much left. I'm not saying anything bad about Calvin. I like Calvin. I'm not saying anything bad about Roman. I like him so far. But again, at the end of the day, Mike, when you're rounding it out with Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek, these guys exactly, nobody's knocking down the walls to get any of these guys. I'm going to be honest with you. And again, you lose DK. You just don't have weapons. Yes, you have some receivers that have potential. You have a guy that may be able to step up, but you don't have weapons. And again, you're kind of unsure about your backfield situation as well. So you're kind of teetering now. Do we have a good running game? Do we have a good passing game? What do we really have? Again, get a weapon. If there's somebody out there that's out there, like Jacoby Myers, even at this point, I just don't think you can go into this without another weapon. It doesn't seem logical.
I don't know. We between our top 2 tight ends, there's 15 touchdowns there. There's like over almost 2,000 yards receiving right there. Those guys are weapons as well.
Of course,
they're used in the passing game.
What about your wide receivers? That's a bigger that's a bigger weapon for you. That's your that's a go-to guy that you go to constantly every single game.
Quarterbacks go to tight ends all the time.
And I'm not saying they don't. That's the thing. I just need you to understand that I agree. Yeah. I agree with you, and I understand what you're saying. But you need more weapons.
But if your top 3 targets are DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, there's those guys for the
sake of the conversation, let's X out DK. For the sake of the conversation, we're Xing out DK again. So you got Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth, which is okay. But again, every week you're facing off against teams that have elite everything everywhere. I just don't feel strong about our good team. We have a good team. I think we have a good team. We have good players. We built a nice team. But do you feel strong about the weapons you have? Yes, we could throw the tight ends toward blue in the face, but I would like to have more weapons. That's all I'm saying. It just gives you a better chance to win football games. I don't know if that makes me crazy, but that's just
for me, like the legit weapons that might be available are, Myers. If Oakland wants to move him, but there's reports that
let me say
that
this:
there's no they don't want to move him.
Pat Fryermuth isn't exactly a guy I want to get to the ball to whenever it's third and 29, or whenever I need a big play. Yes, you could use him. But he's always covered up under somebody else. If he becomes your primary your primary look, that's not a good situation to be in. He's not Travis Kelce. He's not Rob Gronkowski. He lies in the middle. He's good. He's strong. He's a good tight end. But again, is this somebody that you want to rely on play in, play out, play in, play out, play in, play out for 17 games? It doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, like for maybe if you're going to go out and get someone, like there's no guy that's like a true, like, oh, the number one goes down, this number two is going to take it up.
They let it go too long, Mike. They let it go too long. Again,
but like everyone
weird?
that we were looking at were number ones on their team. We were coming here to make them a number two.
Why do they address everything else? 21 other positions, but for 2 seasons, again, this one still is just. That's all I'm saying, guys. Let's catch up on the board a little bit here. I'm going to go right here to Tortilla with probably the best
the best comment of the day.
He says linebacker 3/5 of the way white. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't
know if I trust that.
I don't know if I trust that.
I trust one of them for damn sure.
I don't know. Johnson Smith always plays that target one wide receiver and a bunch of tight ends with every other wide receiver minimal supporting cast. The second wide receiver hype isn't warranted. That's just my concern. I mean, it sounds good. The plan sounds good. But again, I don't want to be halfway through this season thinking, geez, oh man, we don't have anything that we're going into the Ravens game. We have Pat Fryermuth, guys. He's just not, when you're looking at a talking playmaker, that's just not what I'm talking about. Jen, good morning to you.
What up, Jen?
Good afternoon here. Good morning there in Wisconsin. RB says, I was told Rock tried to fight Woodside after the buck. I heard that too.
That should earn him a roster spot. Woodside was trash.
I'm still saying they tried to make him shave James Harrison's back, and he got the fuck out of Dodge.
I think they saw that Keshawn Williams, or was it Keshawn Williams? Is the better receiver.
Keshawn Williams was good.
He was good. I think he makes the practice squad. He's my guy. He's my irrational guy that I will pound the table for week after week.
Jen is saying Rock had behavioral issues. That's kind of what I'm starting to see. Common thread. Tortilla says RB, man, Austin finally has a quarterback who can see him. Don't sleep on him. I just cut a defensive lineman and quarterback and bring in a wide receiver and DB. But what do I know? And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, when you're just looking at the team from top to bottom, you're looking at the positions. I feel comfortable pretty much everywhere, except at this one position that for some reason they're just not feeling. 2 seasons. I'm just saying, come on. As much an active and aggressive as this GM has been in building this team, there was nobody that could be a satisfiable wide receiver too that's been signed over the past 2 years. I don't get it. I don't get it. Finchy, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Finch on the board. John says if they thought the wide receiver issue was so big, it would have. And that's true. John, I mean, obviously, right? That's got to be what it's about. If they would have thought that they needed it, I just don't want to be halfway through the season without DK Metcalf thinking, geez, oh man, we brought the B team. Why wouldn't you want to put yourself in the best position to win? I don't know. Maybe if this is the best position that we have to win, it certainly wasn't 6 months ago when all these other receivers were out there, these guys that got picked up and took somewhere else. But again, John also says, I heard Bishop had issues the last preseason game. He follows it up by saying, I could smell Ryan's breakfast that his mommy cooked through this morning through my phone with that burp. It was good.
The burps are coming heavy today. I'm going to start a little experiment. Like the more burps, the more riled up I get them. I just want to see if that happens.
Interesting.
I think there's a correlation from the amount of burps to how riled up I can get you.
I burp every day. Does that mean anything to you?
No, you get like a steady baseline.
I don't know. Tortilla says if Cam is willing to retire, that means he knows no other team is willing to pay him what he wants. Yeah, let's see them value you, Cam. Let's see them give you what you think that you deserve at 37 years old. Maybe you should just walk. Finchie's saying that Rodgers is so good that he will just throw the ball to him. Apparently, I don't know. Maybe you don't need practice anymore. And again, I listen. I don't care what the Chiefs do. I'm just saying that their quarterback played through two touchdowns and got a field goal on 3 drives the other night, and he's fine. But you know what? The guys that are going down around in the league, Mike, I guess you really can't argue with injuries. So happen so often, and we are a victim of a lot of them. Usually, Mike, as we are seeing through preseason, we went through the names yesterday, and hopefully, a lot of these guys will be ready in 11 days. Okay, right here, Cam isn't underpaid. Yeah, you know. Corey says, it's killing me, man. It's like our options are Jacoby Myers or we're stuck with what we have. It's nauseating that this is still a problem. Will we have a number 2 wide receiver next year, I wonder? Maybe we'll go for a whole half decade. I don't know. I've just never seen anybody. This is a position that, again, is usually addressed really early for most teams as you want to get your weapons. RB says it was MVS. The KC number 2.
That's right. It was him. That was him. He was their number 2.
Was it?
Yeah. Antlin. Hit with the 50% catch rate, though.
Tortilla says Smith just doesn't use wide receiver much. Again, does this correlate to good NFL football? I don't know. When you have Derrick Henry, like he had at one time, before he went 7-10 for 3 years in Atlanta, yeah, things work out when you have a guy like Derrick Henry. I don't know if again, you know, it was a successful time in Tennessee for that short period of time when he was under Mike Vrabel. But again, you know, is that what's going to be duplicated? Is that going to be the kind of season? Do we have anybody that could even come remotely close to doing what Derrick Henry did to even open up the game from the inside like the way they – I don't know. John saying TJ, agree. Tortilla been between Percival and Robinson Jr. The 49ers got both players who were shot in flight. That's right.
That's
Robinson,
right. Yeah, I forgot that his rookie year. Yeah, and he came out wearing those big ass hats like that was going to protect him or some shit. He hasn't been shot since. He might be onto something.
John says Robinson wasn't the cheaper option. Can't beat a rookie minimal contract and all of that. And that's what our offense is.
I think that he's talking about Mark Robinson.
And I'm talking about our offense. Our offense has a bunch of second-year guys on the offensive line. Second and third-year guys are getting paid rookie contracts. A quarterback who's getting paid a fraction of what he's worth. A rookie running back who didn't look that great in the preseason. And no wide receiver, too. Okay. I hope the offense is better this year. Tortilla says, don't get me wrong, I love an actual wide receiver too, but I just don't see us giving up more than crumbs for one. If DK is healthy, I think we're fine, but if he goes down, then yes, it's a problem. And we're always going to be one play away. I know you can say that about anybody, but we're prepared in a lot of other positions, just not that one. RB says, you have a constant fear if someone breathes on Austin. Again, he hasn't had a good history of not being injured. From day one, he's had injury issues. And the other wide receiver that we're counting on missed his whole entire rookie season with injury as well. So these are little dudes. They're little guys, man. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? He says, I agree with the Thunder. I think Pat Freiermuth and Johnny will combine to be the wide receiver too. That might be. Might be Sticky B. It might Sticky B. Tortilla.
I don't know why, but that just tickled me. That was a good one.
Tortilla says RB takes hits, bro. Of course, you don't want him to, but I mean, he is our punt returner. As long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't get him killed, I think he can manage. John says Mike is onto something. DK goes down, and Jonnu Smith becomes the number 1 target. A. Smith is a 1-target trick pony. RB says Ryan, the wide receiver thing is difficult. You get a 1A for way too much money. You get a pack of 3s and 4s. You draft a guy early, look around the league, and tell me. And that's the thing. That's what it's going to come down to, man. And we'll see. We thought they were going to go after somebody in the draft this year that could possibly be on this list as well. Of course, Rock Taylor didn't make the cut, and I thought that a wide receiver was certainly something they could have looked at.
I think it was like after that trade, George Pickens' behavior in the facility became too much for him, because there was no talk that they were all willing to keep George and DK, and George sabotaged that plan, and then now we're going to roll with Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm on.
Uh,
I'm sorry. It's been a long
Sticky
day
B,
for
maybe
Mike.
they can bring back a more humble Deontay. Been through 4 teams in 2 seasons, pairing with Rodgers wouldn't be the worst option. I hate that
That's
option.
what I'm talking
And I'm
about,
going to be
bro.
honest with you. I love Sticky B. I really do. But I hate that option. I listen, there's not a receiver that I dislike more than Deontay. The guy, as his career went on, he started running backwards
More and more.
more and more. I don't want a guy that starts running backwards as his career goes on.
I tell you, there was like a 3-game window last year with Carolina where he looked like his old self. His route running was looking silky smooth. He was running
I hate when
forward.
anybody
Then
tells
all
me
of a sudden
anything that
he
happens good in
stopped.
Carolina, because there's nothing good that happens in that city as far as football.
It happens in a vacuum, and it's just never going to be good for long.
Tortilla says, "Yeah, we might have to hope Roman could turn." Again, his guys have not been injured. These are guys that are very injury prone since they've been in the league. That's scary as well. Finchy said the Raiders would give Cam the money he wants. You know what? Might as well, right? The Raiders are just taking everybody at this point. Send Cam to Vegas.
Hey, we'll send them Cam Hayward, and they'll send us Tom Brady.
Hey.
We can have Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback.
Also, Corey says, John, if our wide receiver was good enough when San Francisco would have been calling us for trade instead of moving MVS. So we're obviously like, yeah, I mean, we had guys. Why aren't they calling us? I'm sure San Francisco didn't want our Ben Skoranek.
Because I think they know that we ain't traded anyone from that receiving.
I don't think they wanted anybody from that receiving room. But anyway, who knows? I don't know. Maybe they did. John says if Ray. Okay, Artie Smith never put much weight into wide receiver, number 2 wide receiver. I hope that doesn't backfire on us throughout the season. That's all. John, he also says if Rodgers went down in the preseason, the Steelers' suicide rate would have doubled. You know what?
Maybe tripled.
Again, there's still a lot of people that ain't even on board with Aaron Rodgers yet,
That's
too.
true.
Here in Pittsburgh is what a lot of people need to do realize. A lot of people are on board because he's our quarterback, and that's where I'm at. But there's still a lot of people that don't love this move, guys. John also says Austin weighs 161 pounds. That will always. I weighed 161 pounds in 8th grade. That is an issue. These are very big, strong, fast men that hit you really hard. 161 pounds. That's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing to me. Tortilla said that Meathead asked when Con what would his doing at wide receiver 2, and Con replied, it's not the trade deadline, so maybe we were looking for a true number 2, but probably will be the deadline after we know what Roman is. John follows it up by saying GP knows Artie Smith's targets 1 wide receiver. Once DK signed, his agent told him to get out. Both were never going to be on the roster. Remember how excited we were for those 5 minutes that they were both on the team?
That was the most blissful feeling.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see George Pickens and DK on the field. They just couldn't give us this.
It was like the birth of my child, DK Metcalf and Pickens on the same roster. It was up there, brother. It was a toss-up.
Tortilla, we could probably get Bowers for Cam, more tight ends. Yeah, we need more. Bring in more. We had to get rid of some. Maybe we could use a couple more. Sticky B says, I am not a Deontay guy either, Ryan. I hope the Roman steps up and takes his job. He had a couple flashes in preseason. So he looked great. If we're gonna put his 4 catches under a microscope, he is a Hall of Famer. But
Kenny Pickett, baby.
But we got to figure the guy's availability hasn't looked very good
in the NFL. Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing we're going by, right?
Yeah, that's just like it sucks when you get a guy who was never injured in college and then gets hurt like 3 times his rookie year. I was like, come on. But no, I think the Raiders would be dumb enough to trade us Brock Bowers. Let's do it.
I think the Raiders are dumb enough to do anything at this point. I'm going to be honest with you. And then Corey, let's finish up the messages. He says, trust me, Ryan, if they did call us, we'd know what they're telling about Kelsey and Swift's engagement, not even football related. We'd know if they called. Absolutely. We sure would. And we would certainly be talking about it right here on the Two Dumb Yinzers. Guys, a lot of things going on. One thing that did catch my attention early yesterday when when it all ended, Mike, we had our roster set. We have, again, 11 days from right now, we'll be playing a meaningful game to kick off the season. But this is something that caught my attention, Mike, was this. If I could find it here real quick. Aaron Rodgers personally, yesterday, pulled out his cell phone, called the Packers to ask about Romeo Doubs' availability. Report says Aaron Rodgers is directly involved in shaping the Steelers roster as Pittsburgh continues to look for wide receiver depth. Mike, we mentioned this name on the outside of the bubble a couple times, Romeo Doubs. If Aaron Rodgers can pull him, would you be satisfied with that move?
Oh, yeah. I love me some Romeo Doubs. And the story I read today, because I saw that one too, and it's been changed to he called one of the reporters that he knows in Green Bay and inquired to him, like, what are you hearing? Is he available?
Okay.
I don't think he called the Packers. I think he was calling a reporter. So
okay, but the line is he's making phone calls trying to bring wide receivers and find out what's going on out there. So that's encouraging is what I'm trying to get to, Mike. The fact that we may not be stranded here on this road without a position. It's a pretty vital position in the NFL. I think you can agree.
Yeah, I would take me some Romeo Doubs. I've always been a fan of. He's a steady receiver. He about 1,700 yards in 3 years, 15 touchdowns.
I don't know. I can't look at the numbers, Mike. I have to look at the video. I can't.
No, you got to look at both, brothers. Look at both. But no, he's. I would take Romeo Doubs in a heartbeat.
So you like this move? You like the fact that Aaron Rodgers is being proactive, Mike, and he's out making phone calls and he's trying to get things done because he thinks that we need a wide receiver too. So again, I think that we might be on the right leg here if we agree with that, just because Aaron kind of knows what Aaron's talking about. Yes, he is 43 years old, but he is going to walk into the Hall of Fame one day. And if he wants a wide receiver too, who am I? Who am I to fight with that, guys? I would like to have a wide receiver too as well. And as I said, as of yesterday, whether he was calling the team, the media, the record store on the corner, whoever calling about information on these players, Mike, to me, that's a good thing. Maybe, just maybe at the end of the day, we will have somebody filling in that wide receiver too here in 11 days. Again, Mike, 11 days, that's less than a paycheck. Less than a pay, you know what I mean? We got paid 3 days ago. We're already that close to the next payday, Mike. This is going to be here before you know it. This is the last weekend of no NFL football. And to be honest, Mike, 1 week from tomorrow, let's make it even closer. Let's make it even bigger. Let's make it even more exciting is when the season kicks off on Thursday night before the NFL season, Mike. So just a little over a week away. Very little time to, you had all off season to make your moves. You had all off season to build your team. You had all off season to make things right. Mike, we're down to the final 11 days. Will these things be taken care of? Will these moves be made? Will Aaron Rodgers be able to bring in somebody, Mike, to fill that spot? I don't know. I'm keeping my eyes on it just as much as you are. I lost your picture on the screen.
Me too.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell happened there.
But this is where we're at, Mike. This is where we're at right now with this team. And again, I think most people are satisfied with what we have so far. Would you like things to get a little bit better?
Oh, yeah, you always want more.
Would you like the things to be fine-tuned? Absolutely. And that's kind of what we're hoping for as we get closer, Mike. Again, 11 days. Justin Fields, the New York Jets, Pittsburgh Steelers kicking it off at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, Mike. I got to be honest, the time flew. The offseason went really fast, a lot faster than I was expecting to. But you know what? A lot of the people that join us every day certainly gets us through that. The people on the board that keep the show interesting, and the people that are watching and viewing, you know what? This really, it really made time fly. And these people are truly diehard Steeler fans, whether you're right here, whether you're downtown, whether you're in Wisconsin,
Sheboygan.
Whether you're in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, whether you're in Las Vegas, California, Missouri, Japan. These are diehard Steeler fans that do log into this show day in and day out, all off season long, talking Steeler rumors, talking possibilities, talking everything. Mike, I just want to say to everybody that does participate and tune in, we thank you that you made this off season fly for me as we continue, Mike, to stay on Steelers 365 days a year. And again, it would be very difficult to do without everybody. So, guys, you're amazing. Always, these are the diehards right here. These are Steeler fans.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we held out so long to just go to nothing but Steelers. It's because we're like, how could we do it? And then, my God, you guys are just amazing.
Mike, Aaron Rodgers, his on facing the New York Jets in the home opener, or in the opener on the road.
Yep.
Was asked about the Jets game. He comments, he goes, it's only 1 out of 17. Totally underplaying it. And I agree, because for one, it's the Jets. For two, you played 1 year there. You got injured the other year. It's not like there's a big commitment to New York. And unlike New York, Pittsburgh is very it's more of a tight-knit city. It's a smaller city. And I think he's going to have a better time here in Pittsburgh overall than he's just not a New York kind of guy to me.
Pittsburgh and Green Bay are similar.
Pittsburgh and Green Bay are very similar. And I just don't see, Mike, why this would be anything special for him. I would think he would want to forget that 2 years in New York.
Yeah, I think he would too. And like he said in one of the interviews, he's like, I wanted to win in New York. Like any pro, you want to win, and it just didn't work out. So, and it sounds like, both quarterbacks have, him and Fields, nothing bad to say about either organization. People want to make it out to be a revenge game for both guys, and they're both like, we played there for a year. We liked our time, and it's business now. It wasn't like Logan, I keep calling him Logan, Peyton Wilson. He said he can't wait to get that, those good hits on Justin Fields, because those two became fast friends here. So it's like, to everyone else, man, it just seems to be a game and they're ready to go.
This also might come out just in the last 24 hours. Analyst takes under 8.5 wins, quoting, "It's hard to believe in Aaron Rodgers," Mike. Under on an 8.5 win. I think there's no way this team doesn't go 500 this season.
Yeah.
And again, his reasoning was hard to believe in Aaron Rodgers. What do you make of that?
You can not want to believe in Aaron Rodgers, but can you believe like in the Steelers? And say what you will about Mike Tomlin, but Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, he drugged them to a couple of those guys to the playoffs, others to 8-8, 9-8 seasons. You take the over at 8 wins.
I don't know how anybody goes under on this. Sticky B says this team would go over 500 with Mason. I was saying this to Mike off the air yesterday. Some of these people really take advantage, and rightfully so, for good reason, of being part of a good franchise. They do. I mean, there's no guarantee that this team is going to be good. There is work that's put into it, but the Steelers organization usually gives you enough good pieces and right pieces to play fairly well and have a good outcome when it's all said and done. And even like when you felt that they didn't with those quarterbacks that we named,
they find a way.
They find a way, Mike. Again, there's no way. If I was a gambling man, and I'm not, I would not take my hard-earned money and go under on this in a million years. Why would this team be any worse than any of those other teams for the past 20 seasons that's gone 500 or better?
Exactly.
With everybody and everything that you just brought in, unless they have a total meltdown. And come on, I just refuse to believe at this point. If it ends up happening and it happens, maybe I'll believe it at that point. But at this point, I'm not accepting that.
Exactly. And there was like a national guy on Fox Sports 1. He was like, I'm done picking the Steelers to have a losing season. He's like, I've done it for the past 3 years. I've seen their roster. I've seen the quarterback room. No, there's no way they're going to have a losing season. It's just impossible.
Season?
He's like, it's just impossible for it to happen in Pittsburgh.
I just don't even understand. Again, a lot has to go
they
bad.
Would be one or two here or there would be nice to get those extra high draft picks, but it's just not going to happen.
Mike, we got a lot into the opener, but let's go back a little bit into the 53-man, of course, cut down
yes.
to our final roster yesterday. Mike, where does Corey Trice? How does this whole thing affect Corey Trice? We're going to get into him, Will Howard, and these IR moves that are going to be made to fit some of these players, guys, and that is going to be where a lot of the quarterback questions are answered, because they're going to probably put Will Howard on. What are they going to do with these quarterbacks, Mike? Make it make sense.
From what I'm hearing, what I'm reading and it's all come from Gary Dulac.
Yeah.
And his reporting recently has been 50-50 at best. But he's hearing that they're going to put Will Howard on the IR, but that, able to come back. And that's where they put Trice. And if I might be mistaken, someone correct me if I'm wrong, please do. Because I don't have all the info right. But I think you can only use that twice a year. And you can use it on these two cats this quick. I don't know. I think they're holding out for a trade for Skylar Thompson. or
I do
Mason
too.
Rudolph. I think for one of those two guys, they're gonna make a trade and then roll weeks 1 and 2
Why cut Skyler when he has value right now? I think that's the mindset.
Yeah.
Mike, he looked good in preseason. He's probably going to be a bum in the future. I don't know. Again, he's been in the league how long, and he finally is looking okay in preseason against backup teams. I would ride this, take the value that he's worth right now, and run with it. Run with it as fast as you can, Mike, because again, that value is probably going to disappear. I think that's what they're trying to do here, Mike, is manipulate and move around the quarterback room to get to that point where it is originally what we thought it was going to be, the Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, and then Will Howard. I think they're just manipulating and moving pieces around to get it to where it is and maybe get something for Skyler. That's why he did not get cut.
Yeah, or wait to see how Will Howard hand looks, because he's starting to throw more, so you can see how he's going to look these next couple of days. And if you feel like he's going to be healthy by the end of the season or beginning of the season, you either trade Skylar Thompson, or if no one offers anything for him, you release him at that point, and you go, okay, well, Howard's healthy enough to where if we would need him as QB3 in week 1 or week 2, we can get by with it. That might be the thing there too, because Will Howard was starting to practice some, and if he's healing up in time, okay, we can wait a couple days till he's completely healthy, make that cut. But I just don't see them wasting an IR spot on Will Howard. I don't see them wasting his entire rookie year by putting him on IR, because he can't practice. He can't go into meetings. At least it's a third stringer. He can go to meetings. He can sit there and get those mental reps. That's not going to happen.
Mike, I find it very hard to believe that we're going to be sitting here in week 17 with these 4 quarterbacks. I just don't. Again, I think the wheels are in motion. Is what's going on. I think the wheels are in motion, and whatever they plan on doing with Skyler, they're gonna look around at the market. They're gonna see what's out there, who needs what, and who's willing to give up something for him. And that's just, again, it's business. That's the way that Omar Khan handles things, and it would not be as a wise of a move to just cut him when you could get something. That is what I believe is going on with the quarterback position. Mike, I do believe you will just have the 3 quarterbacks when it's all said and done. Let's jump onto the defensive side of the ball and tell me how Corey Trice's possible trip to the IR is going to affect the team.
Yeah, if he's going to be on that he's going to be out 4 weeks. He's going to miss those first 4 weeks. So then from there, okay, your outside corners are what? Porter, Brandon Eccles, Darius Slay, then Ramsey and Dante Kent on the inside.
Yeah.
There's got to be another move there for another corner. I don't see how they run that out week 1, to be honest with you. Because if I'd be much more comfortable with Porter, Slay, Ramsey, Corey Trice, Eccles, and then a Dante Kent. That would be a much more viable room than, Kent mixed in with the big 3. In Eccles, I don't know, because there's going to be a lot of moves going on, and I just don't know what they're going to be, because it all comes down to what are they going to do with Will Howard and Skylar Thompson. Then that's going to dictate every other move, because you still got to get another safety,
I think,
or another corner.
If I was again, if I'm guessing, but I would think that they are probably in the process somewhat of shopping Skylar around as we speak, Mike. And again, we have 11 days, and Tortilla just right here. I kind of caught one of his comments as I'm looking. He says 6 or 7 moves before week 1.
Yeah,
what, with Khan and company, Mike, that's not out of the question.
It's not out of the question. Like, that's why they always say this is the initial 53-man roster,
right?
And that's why guys were designated as certain types of cuts.
Yeah.
So they don't have to clear waivers. Right now, we got to wait for guys to clear waivers and shit like that. So,
Mike, let me, I don't know. Let's do some messages. I don't want to get too far behind. I know we got here. All right. I think I'm going to start here. I'm going to start right here.
All right.
Sticky B. Speaking about Sticky B, Rodgers wants to wash the taste out of his mouth, the Jets taste out of his mouth. so bad. He does not want to end his career like that. He wants to stand in the Super Bowl. And you know what? He came to the right city because we want that too. Boy, there's nothing we want more in this city to win the Super Bowl. And if that happens this year, man, that would be fantastic. Again, I don't love Aaron Rodgers. He's grown on me like a fungus at the end of the day. But you know what? He's my quarterback now. He's wearing my uniform and he's leading my team. And so far, so good it seems. He's going to be 43, so let's hope for the best, guys. Tortilla says, where did this report come from? I can see this being true, but Steelers media always lie, and they – you're right. Yeah. Corey says, of course, they left us on the edge of our seat without an answer. RB says, Rodgers also told Andy Weidl to look into Corley. Rodgers was a huge fan of Corley coming out and even moved him in with him when he was at the Jets. Interesting. Okay. John says, yeah, the Jets gave Rodgers all he wanted and still didn't work. Again, New York's just not for everybody. Remember when Randy Johnson in baseball went to New York? There's just some athletes that's just not their scene, man. And, you know, they excel in places that, again, New York's not for everybody. Sticky B says, I can't wait. I'll be watching the opener from the cruise ship with a beer in hand. I like it, Sticky B. Jen says, Sheboygan is beautiful. You ever get out here, I'd love to show you around. And we will, if we ever end up in Sheboygan, we'll take you up on that, Jen. No two ways about it. Thank you on that. Austin, welcome to the board. As always, great seeing Austin back. Austin says he'll take the over on the 8.5. Mike, and again, I don't know how they come up with this stuff, but under 500, this would not be the year that I would expect the Steelers to do that.
No, like I would have put the over under at 9.5. Because you know we're guaranteed at least 9 now.
So can you win one more than that?
Exactly. We're going to find a way. This team will find a way to not lose. They'll also find ways to not win.
Sticky B said this team would go over 500 with Mason all season. Hell, I would take over 500 with Will Howard. This is what Sticky B says. Tortilla says team would go 20-0 with Will Howard. RB says the problem with today is everyone is an analyst, even people who never watched football a day in their life, people who push personal feelings, who just read the internet, anyone with a degree. I agree. I think, you know, when that happens across the board, try watching a debate or getting on a thread and reading a political debate or
a scientific argument,
scientific, religious, political, anything.
It's great.
It's most people don't know what they're talking about. You're right.
Not us, though. We know what we're talking about.
Oh, our board's smarter than anybody's.
They're smarter than me.
I'm not even.
I'm not going to debate. I'm being serious.
RB also says, qualified reporters and former players are too worried about doing rage bait, clickbait, pandering. That's, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Bean ruins sports, Tortilla says. Billy Bean ruins sports. Corey says the only acceptable way we go under 500 is if Howard plays, and if that happens, then he will be our next quarterback one, because I believe he'd show enough promise to invest around him. My daily hot take. Austin saying trade Skyler. He's also saying I'd honestly keep Skyler over Mason after what I saw. John says, RB, that is how the NFL became a 365-day enterprise, 5% real news and 95% BS talking heads making engagement time. Jen says, what about Dylan Cook, Mike? Wonder why he was cut. Dylan Cook, what do you think?
Dylan Cook, he was like the guy that they thought was going to be their swing tackle. But
yeah,
Calvin Anderson and Argus Pete just outperformed him.
RB saying geriatric Dulac just makes shit up anymore. He has for 3 to 4 years now.
I tell you what, though, man, that isn't that the gig, though? Do your job long enough to where you can just bullshit your way through it.
It seems to be effective.
It seems to work, especially in sports media.
Yeah.
You got to put the media in quotation marks when it comes to sports, like wrestling media, sports media.
Spice Creations, what's going on the board? Always great seeing Spice. She said he's not Cam. Then she follows it up by saying 49ers. Corey says that's why I think the Raiders offer Myers for Thompson in a fourth. Any team keep KP ends up on, they take a quarterback with him just because he's a body.
I think Kenny Pickett's better than Skylar Thompson.
I'm
not a Kenny Pickett guy at all.
Oh, we know.
I was for 2 weeks. Damn it!
in those three preseason games, Skylar Thompson he peaked. That's the best you've ever seen Skylar Thompson play.
Yeah.
And again, this is against backups in preseason games.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know how much value I would put into Skylar, Mike.
Kenny Pickett has better NFL numbers, and he probably did it with a worse offensive system. He's down in there Miami with two really good wide receivers and couldn't do diddly poo with Skylar Thompson.
John says Cook looked bad in both camp and preseason games. Jen says over and under on how many changes to the roster before the first game. I think that's where Tortilla came out and said 6 to 7 moves. You know what? I don't doubt it. Also, Mark Malone. What's up, Mark? Always great seeing Mark Malone on the board. He says we're going to roll with 3. I'm guessing Howard will go on IR. You know what? I think ultimately that's what we're being told, at least, Mike, is they're kind of moving pieces around to I think try to get something out of Skylar Thompson eventually, because again, he did look good in preseason, and there's teams out there that need
there's
desperate.
There's desperate. There's a lot of GMs that are not that smart, and they just look at that preseason and go, that's what we right there. Coaches are always like, oh, I can do something with them.
Right.
I need to work with them. The next thing you know, the guy's 40 and out of the league.
RB says if Rodgers wants Dobbs, Green Bay needs a backup. It would only make sense to package Thompson in a later round for Dobbs rather than a 3 and 4 Thompson, and 5 or 6 is much better move.
Oh, now you got me perked up there, RB.
Mark Malone saying nobody's going to trade for Thompson. See, the thing, I think they will. Again, there's some desperate teams out there, guys. And even when we weren't desperate, we kind of made desperate moves. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody will bite on that.
I mean, Jay Kaner was drafted into the NFL.
John said Howard hasn't shown anything. I believe it is the Ohio State fans pushing for him, much like Pitt fans push for. Yeah, of course. That certainly plays a role as well. Spice Creation says they got cursed when they wouldn't give us IU. That's right.
Hell yeah. And that's really what it started. It was,
Don't play games with the Steelers. The football gods don't like it. They don't like it, I'm telling you.
Omar Khan and Weedle put some curses on these teams that
Mike, they don't like it.
It's like you don't desecrate the terrible towel, and you don't rebuff Omar Khan in a trade.
You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind.
You don't touch another man's
You don't
fries.
pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Omar.
Mm-hmm.
RB says Kendrick Bourne back to San Fran as well, so that makes 2 wide receivers in less than a half hour. All right, they're moving, guys. Again,
I would not a Kendrick Bourne.
Again, Mike is keeping an eye on everything. If anything live does happen, I guess, except for that right there, RB is on top of it. I'm sorry,
RB's like he's a wily veteran.
I agree. Our board
he got
strong.
better knees than I do right now.
Our board is very strong, guys. Tortilla says Howard did practice for the most time, and he was, and he wanted to practice. And even with the brace on his hand, he still practiced and still throwed and showed the fight, the heart, the determination. That's got to stand for something. Again, guys, I think that we're not going to be sitting in week 17 with 4 quarterbacks, Mike. I think it's being manipulated and moved around for us to make a move. And I do think if we can't make that move, I think we end up cutting Skylar. That's just my opinion. I think Skylar doesn't even make it to the game 1 with the Steelers, Mike. I think they're trying to figure something out, and that's what's being done now.
Yeah, strike while the iron's hot.
Absolutely. Let's go right here. Hey, Cody, what's up, brother? Always great listening to Cody. I'm listening just on the golf course, man.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. Have the caddy hold your phone for you while you listen. And all right, we have an alert going on. Mike, what is the alert?
The alert, it doesn't have to do with us, but it has ramifications through the NFL because a team might need a receiver now. Rashee Rice has been suspended 6 games by the NFL. So he's
been a pain in the ass.
Oh my God. Yeah. He showed great promise that second half of his rookie year when they went on to win the Super Bowl. And then last year with that whole, causing that high-speed accident on the highway, fleeing the scene. He's out 6 games. That's huge ramifications for the Chiefs, who are getting up there in age for
And you know
for a
what? The
lot of guys.
Chiefs, they don't mess around. When they need something, they go out and they grab it. So I would, if they're
Oh yeah, we'll see.
if
We'll
you're
see what
looking at a
happens.
receiver, they, the Chiefs don't play around. But that's awesome, Cody. Great seeing you on the board, my friend. I hope you're having a good round of golf. Mark Malone said, "Isn't Rodgers 41?" I think during this season he turns 43. I think, if I'm remembering right. I could be wrong.
Give me a second here. I'll find out.
But I thought he was 42 and he'll be 43 at some point during this football season.
So he's your age.
Whose age?
Aaron Rodgers. Your age.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
No, he will turn 42 this year on December 21st.
Oh yeah, he is my age. That's right.
He's young. Shit, man. He's younger than both of us.
Jamal, hey, what's up, my man? Always great seeing Jamal on the board. Says, what up, my brothers? Always great seeing you, sir. How you doing?
I see your brother made the team.
I'm McCollum. That's right.
Yeah. We established that last episode.
Also, Austin says, brain dead analyst, always the national media, due to with the worst takes. I know. It really is. Spice is Ryan. Don't curse DK. I agree.
Exactly, Spice.
How did I become the curse in this whole thing? I just don't know. The injury thing, Mike. I don't want to be synonymous with this injury issue.
Well, you started it years.
I know.
Like what? 3 years ago. 3 years ago when we started this.
I know. It just oust me now. Corey, how many players can you have on IR at once? We already have 2 or 3. Can't just add everyone if we don't want to lose. Mike, what's the
That's what I'm looking up now. Give me a few minutes because I got to figure it out.
All right, let's Mike, I'm going to go continue to read.
Okay, up to 8 players. A team can designate up to 8 players to return from IR during the season.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So good. We made that is made clear. RB, anybody who wanted to give up 1 or 2 and turn around and pay $150 million for Ayuk should quit watching football. That not happening was the best thing that happened to us last year. And you know what? All the bullets we dodged, the guys had a bunch of injury issues and things like this. So, perhaps we did dodge the bullet with Brandon Ayuk. But a healthy Brandon Ayuk, the guy that we seen the year prior in the opener with the Steelers, I would have loved to have that guy. That guy I would have loved to have on my team. But of course, again, it seems like we dodged the bullet there.
Yeah.
RB says Steelers are awarded 0 players from waivers.
Yeah.
Cody is the guy that called Kabuli out on his day 12 window. Really?
Oh, nice one, Cody.
Is that real? Are you being honest? That's great if it is.
Yeah.
I commend you.
And on the waiver wire as well, no Steelers were claimed off the waiver either. So if we want to bring any of these guys back,
all right, there you go, guys.
That's good right there.
So if you Beanie and you liked some of these other guys, so again, this 53 that we got to yesterday is far from set. A lot of things could happen, especially with 11 days left. Mike, of course, the wide receivers still, of course, the defensive line with injury issues and things going on and such. I expect more things to happen in the next 11 days. Like, and even this was, I wanted to say this earlier as we were talking about Beanie. It says the Beanie Bishop fan club will be practicing at the UPMC Sports Complex this fall, and Beanie will not.
That's good. See, that's why I love sports. I love that shit. That shit is great.
Yeah.
He never lost the Pit though.
Who's that?
Beanie. I think he only played there a year, but he never lost.
Why do you keep telling me these West Virginia Pitt? Nobody cares about West Virginia and Pitt. I can tell you that. I don't even know. This backyard brawl is so pathetic. It's I got to be honest. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna lie. In full disclosure, I've been drinking this episode.
I know you have, but listen, nobody cares. Listen, West Virginia, come on. I don't even know why they schedule that team anymore. What a joke. But anyway, again, let's continue on, Mike. A lot of things going on here on the board, and I don't want to miss anything. Jamal says, yeah, my boy Ryan made the squad. I was a little afraid after the 2 penalties in preseason. Yeah, you know what, Mike, with this offensive line, just the depth of it, I like the starters. I like the young guys. I understand they're going to gel. They're going to get better together. Mike, with the Andersons and everything that we got, where are you with this offensive line? give me a grade. If you're grading in school from A, obviously being the best, F being the worst, where do you grade this offensive line at this particular point?
I'm going to go with a B.
Okay.
B.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, because I really like the depth, especially like Ryan McCullum. I liked what I saw last year with him. I liked what I saw with Spencer Anderson last year too, filling in. He's never going to be a starter, but I think he's being a viable backup. And then you add in someone like Pete, who has been a starter at multiple positions, a Pro Bowler at multiple positions, who still seems like he has a lot left in the tank. I really like our depth on the O-line. At first, I was really worried about it, but the way this preseason has shaken up, I like the depth of the O-line.
Speaking of just real quick players, and I didn't even want to bring this player up, but I have one quick question. Like Chuck Clark, does he make his way back to the practice squad, or is he just again? I liked him. He was a bit of a hammer. He was a bit of a hawk.
Yeah,
and he just lost out obviously to Thornhill. But Mike, at the end of the day, we are only rocking 3 safeties. If let's say Thornhill goes down, or even Miles Killebrew, would he be a good guy to bring back if nobody else wants him? Chucky Clark.
I wouldn't mind bringing him back. I think he'd be better fit at strong safety because he's more of that downhill thumper guy. Or if you want a more of a cover guy at safety, someone who can play center field and just patrol back there, I don't think he makes it back. Okay. And I don't know if he's practice squad eligible due to his age and NFL experience, service time. But if they want to bring back a thumper, bring him back. I'm okay with that. Yeah, more guys who can hit. Fuck it.
I kind of like them. Again, I think that's just the style they were looking for that position. Yeah. And I kind of fell in love with them. A few hits caught my attention. But you know what? Juan Thornhill was looking good as well. I'm not going to discredit what he does, and I look forward to him having a good season. Like as we said yesterday, let's get the Chiefs Juan Thornhill opposed to the Browns Juan Thornhill, and I think we're in good shape. Back on the board. Door screeches. What's up, Steeler Nation? Boom. What's up, Phil? It's still always great seeing you, my man. Hope you're ready. We're just 11 days out, sir. Welcome back to the board. Always great seeing Phil. Cody
Love it.
Did you see that on his podcast? And Cody, that's awesome.
That great.
I think he's talking about the Kabuli, what was said earlier. I commend you to high levels, Cody. Good for you, man. Good for calling them out.
Hold them accountable.
They need that. They need that.
That's they hold their noses up to anyone who watches their stuff and listens to them. They act like they're the be all end all of knowledge.
They really are, and they suck. And if they're the be all end all, we're in bad shape. That's kind of why we do what we do. I just don't trust them.
Yeah, like shit, man. I have you called me out, I'm wrong. Hell yeah. I
mean, you're wrong 99% of the time.
I know, and that's why I like being called out. Set me straight, God damn it.
Jen says, hey, still good to see. Always great seeing Still. No two ways about that. Still big time part of the board over the years. RB says Ryan, that Ayuk was a player who was the fourth worry of a defense. CMC, Debo Samuel, Kittle were all game planned over him, even in his limited time as a number one. I agree. If he didn't have all those weapons around him, that was a huge part of why he was able to do what he did against the Steelers in the opener 2 seasons ago. If they didn't have everything they had going on, I agree. He wasn't as effective. But I never personally seen that player in that position. I've only seen him play good. I don't follow San Francisco, but I take your word because they had a lot going. Like and McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. That's a lot of weapons.
But you add him, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, and then with just a solid rushing attack of Jalen Warren and Najee Harris at the time, that would have been a nice little offense.
Arbeese is a good player who put up great numbers because of the attention the players around him drew. Ayuk, Corey says, Cody, I did LMAO. Don't be so little, bro. Follows it up by saying, at Cody, we should sell shirts that say that.
I'll work on that.
Jen says, I like Clark too. He seemed like he was a nice safety back there, but if they don't go and we have a good season, I won't miss him. I just think that he looked like he could be a nice piece. John says, teams can place 2 players on IR on cutdown day, even if they don't make the initial 53 and still have them count toward the 8 designated return. Okay. Jamal says, go ahead.
I was going to say, thanks, John. That's where I was getting confused in my reading. It was about like the 2 with the returns. Then I saw the 8. I didn't know how that worked. So thank you for that clarification and the education.
Jamal says C- for the offensive line. Jones is inconsistent. Frazier looks like he's hitting a sophomore slump. Ciamalo is old, and Mason McCormick shouldn't even be out there. That's you're not wrong. You're not wrong. At the end of the day, every argument you made, Jones is inconsistent.
Jones, Frazier does look like a slump.
Well, even if he's not, you always have to ask yourself, as somebody that had a really good season, solid season like he did, does he have that slump in there? And you know what? That's always a possibility. Ciamalo is an older, he's getting up there. So he's not wrong. Jamal, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong.
C- is the grade that he gives.
Yeah.
Anybody else, throw your grade up there as well. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Spice, you're so right. Alex Highsmith has been hurt more than Calvin and TJ, and I just and
I like me some Highsmith too. I've always been high on him. I thought he was overpaid, but I've always been high on Alex.
Mike, he's had this injury every year. I don't have the exact numbers, but we did talk about this about a week ago.
I think it's like the past 3 years it's flared up on
every year,
a little bit at a time.
And you're 100% right. And yes. Cody said, I just said 12 days. I didn't mean it specifically. Like, bro, don't say 12 days and say the few. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, what's your problem? Because if you're saying it, then you don't expect us to believe you?
Like you're a reporter. Oh, wait, now they do. I'm a journalist. I'm not a reporter. And these guys have ways of using reporter. Wrestler. Yeah. Like, no, get out of here, bro. If I tell someone, hey, within the next 10 to 12 days, I am going to do X, Y, and Z for you. Within the next 10 to 12 days, I am going to do X, Y, and Z for you. That's, delay, people understand, hey, within the next 10 to 12 days, yes, something's going to happen. Within that window, it better happen.
I absolutely love what Corey did. I think it was amazing. I think he did a great job. If I could give you a high five right now, I would. Just let me read through Corey's message one more time. He's talking about on Kaboli's podcast, if I'm not mistaken. He said, I just said 12 days. I didn't mean it specifically. And then Cody said, like, bro, don't say 12, then just say the future, like everyone else is saying. Exactly. You're giving specific information. Mm-hmm. Then when it doesn't happen, you're like, well, yeah, I just said that. Well, what the hell are we listening to you for? Yeah. Anybody could do it. Anybody could just throw out this information that means nothing. Anybody. Why would anybody tune into you if you're just going to turn around in 12 days and say that's not what you meant?
Yeah.
That's stupid. He is such a meathead, that guy. I can't take it.
Yeah, you can go like, hey, from what rumblings I'm hearing, the people that are talking to me that have some kind of knowledge, like, hey,
for a guy
maybe something you have to add a lot of you got to add qualifiers here. Don't go, 10 to 12 days and get someone. And then when your co-host starts naming reporters, you go, you're in the right stadium, but the wrong section. Oh, now you're getting warmer. Once you start naming players, no, you were ready to say this is what's going to happen. Oh, my God.
This is what we talk about, guys. I don't shit on the media just to shit on them.
Yeah.
I don't.
No. There's a lot that I follow that has some good information and insight. Oh. Pudding head.
Tortilla says Jalen is probably the backup safety now. Hey, he might be. He's gonna be covering ones and playing safety and vending beers and everything else at this point. Corey says maybe we should have traded Highsmith for Scary Terry when we had a chance. I wasn't against that. Not at all.
Me either, but I don't think that was a realistic possibility though. I would have done it. Okay.
Cody said Alex Highsmith and TJ go together like Batman and Robin, Dr. Dre and Slim Shady. You know what? I liked. I was a bigger fan of the other. Who was number 48? Mike Bud Dupree. I like Bud Dupree and TJ. Bud Dupree was just as productive. If I'm remembering right,
productive.
I thought he was. Yeah.
Like once they flipped sides with TJ Watt and Bud Dupree, because Bud was better coming off. For some odd reason, he was better coming off the opposite side than Watt was. He was a much more dynamic player all around. I like what Highsmith brings to the table, and Bud, his career kind of fell off after he left here. He started getting injury prone. So in hindsight, it was a smart move. But I thought Bud was a much
I don't know.
better
Send
duo.
Alex Highsmith to play for some of these other teams, and let's see how his production
Exactly.
drops off.
Yeah. Once he has to be the number one, yeah, I think
He's not opposite side.
He's a great number two, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He's solid at what he is right now. Yeah. He's a good run stopper. He's opposite side TJ Watt, and this is probably the best case scenario for him in this league.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
and shit, I'm glad we have him. I liked him when we drafted him in the third round years ago, and I saw him get better and better every year. I thought we overpaid for him. Turned out we did not overpay for him. We end up getting a deal every year.
Yeah, the fact that
as these contracts go up, fuck yeah.
And he's not. The guy's not playing either. So I mean, who's really getting beat here? Corey says, "Mark, don't quote me. I'm a journalist." Capoli.
Cody t-shirt says, idea.
It's like the guy on the ticket selling commercial who buy the seat tick behind the cement pillar. I've been there. I went to my first playoff hockey game as a younger person. I ended up being behind the damn pillar. I don't know how. I don't know out of 30,000 seats how I get that damn seat behind the pillar. But that was my first experience with playoff hockey as a younger person. John says fans are desperate for Steeler news. That's why his fat ass gets away with this. Yeah. And then Cody follows it up by saying we need a wide receiver combo like TJ and Highsmith, which I guess we had briefly. I mean, you could count the amount of minutes that maybe on one hand that we had GP and DK, and we were all excited. But obviously that's not the case anymore, guys. Let's get into some other things here, Mike. Let's see. This was we're talking about some reporters and what they're saying. Mike, this is from Ray Fittipaldo. This is somebody that I've worked with through my job, and he is somebody that I think comes up with, pretty good information. Ray Fittipaldo did say this. He says people were going to be surprised at how much the Steelers use Kenneth Gainwell early in this season. Mike, how big does that Kenneth Gainwell move look now, being that now we're just we didn't look fantastic in preseason. I don't think we even really put forth a full effort to run the ball in preseason. But how big do you think the role he's going to play now that we're just kind of uncertain about this running game, Mike? And do you think he plays a big role?
I think he does. I don't think he's going to be like, a major weapon, but 3 to 4 touches a game that have the potential to go for big gainers and to get the offense jumped. I don't look for him to be a major contributor, but every team has that guy that they use as a spark plug to get you going. You put him in there, the defense knows what he can do. In Philly, he was used perfectly in that role of that little change of pace guy, the little spark plug. Saquon needs a break. We can put him in here because we know he can run for a little, and then we can do him outside the pass. So teams still had to hedge their bets. Are they going to run with him? Are they going to throw with him? The Steelers can use him in that same way as well. You have to account for him because you see on film what he can do. I think he's going to be used as a spark plug, as a guy that can get open out of the backfield. He's going to be faster than all the linebackers that are going to have to cover him. So I see him being used to soften up defenses early on into the season to help get the running game going and maybe even help get the underneath passing game going as well, to clear out a middle linebacker maybe out of the middle, to open up a Freiermuth, open up a Jonnu Smith, open up a Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson coming across the middle.
I do want to say this, Mike, as we are talking about Steelers running backs, Najee, they did move Najee to the active roster.
That's good to hear.
So, I mean, come on, that was on July 4th. Here we are, August 27th, and they're just now getting him. So, whatever your opinion about the guy, he certainly took one to the face, man.
Yeah.
Of course, with this firework accident.
Yeah.
But now they're saying Najee has been moved to the active roster.
Yeah. I root for Najee. He just was not a fit on what we were doing for him. I wanted him to be so good. I wanted him to be that guy that's going to get you, 1,700 yards total offense, 1,500 yards total offense. Just didn't work out here for him. I hope he does well. And it sucks too. The fireworks thing, no fault of his own. Him and a bunch of other people victims. Hopefully he's all right.
And again, Mike, I just hope that we could even keep up with what he did with what we have going right now. That's a big question as well. The guy did manage to gain 1,000 yards in all 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And again, I know this is not the limit that we go by, the number that we go by, but nobody in that time period was able to produce the same number. So what's that say?
Yeah, and he was always there, always ready to go. My biggest problem with Najee, you never knew which game where he was going to be on and take a game over, because he had some of those games where we had to take him out. He was consistent, but never the I don't know.
Mike, I do got some interesting things that I want to get into here in today's show. Let me just make sure I'm missing nothing here. One other note: Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is impressed with Arthur Smith's creativity and predicts that they will be friends for life. Did you see this highline?
No, I did not.
He predicts they'll be friends for life. You know what? If they win this damn Super Bowl this year, they're going to be
friends for life. But create some unpredictable plays that keep the defense off balance. You will have a friend for life for everyone in Pittsburgh already.
All right, guys. So this is interesting. I kind of saved it for the end of the show, Mike. If you've seen it, bear with me. If you haven't, bear with me. This is the 20 teams that can make the Super Bowl this year, according to Fox, Mike, by tiers. Did anybody see this? Just hang with me, Mike.
I think I did.
This is interesting, Mike. This is the different tiers, and I think you'll be surprised where the Steelers sit on this list. Mike, number one with Super Bowl odds at plus 360. The Eagles, they are in the top tier. This is considered the top contenders tier. You've seen these things in social media. There are certain tiers. They give you the team and then a little scoop about them. This is something that a lot of people are talking about as of the last couple of days, Mike. In the top contenders tier at a plus 360 Super Bowl odds, the Philadelphia Eagles are number one. Mike, the Ravens on this top tier list with a plus 330 odds of winning the Super Bowl. The Ravens, number three. The Kansas City Chiefs in the top tier with a plus 400. The Buffalo Bills are number four in the top tier with a plus 330. Mike, and finally, the Detroit Lions. They round out that top tier of Super Bowl possible teams. Mike, those five teams, the Detroit Lions. We have an alert. What do you have?
I apologize for interrupting your list here. I know we had a new segment. I apologize, but do not fear. Beanie Bishop is back on the Steelers practice squad.
All right, there you go, guys. You heard it right here on the Two Dumb Yinzers, possibly faster than anywhere else on the planet. You might have just heard the scoop. Beanie Bishop is back, Mike.
Yep.
The Beanie Bishop fan club will at least have to put up with him for another year. Mike.
Yes, they will.
Beanie Bishop
is back. Will.
Is he what, practice squad or what's the
practice
deal?
Squad? Practice.
All right, Beanie Bishop is back on the practice squad, guys. Again, I don't know if there's anybody that didn't see this or didn't call this, but I think a lot of people thought that Beanie Bishop would certainly be back.
As soon as he was cut, I kind of figured that's where he was going to end up.
Absolutely. Let's, Mike, let me jump back on this lister just because I think it's interesting where the Steelers
go ahead. My bad, bud.
Of course, the top tier, I didn't announce the five teams that the Fox Sports did announce, Mike, into the second tier, which is the one break away. Teams that can contend. If they quit updating me, I could read it.
Over on X.
Here we go, Mike. This is teams that can contend for a championship if most things go right. This is the one breakaway tier, Mike. The Houston Texans at a plus 1,800 are at the top of this list on the one breakaway list, Mike. The next team on the one breakaway is the Green Bay Packers at a plus 850 at odds. The Bengals are on this list at a plus 1,200. The Washington Commanders, this team was just outside the Super Bowl last year. So let's put things into perspective. This team was this close to the Super Bowl. They are on this tier, Mike, of the one breakaway. Tampa Bay, I don't know how strong I feel about the Buccaneers being a Super Bowl team, but they are in this particular tier, Mike. And the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the last team, Mike, with a plus 1,600 Super Bowl odds on this list of one breakaway on this list of tiers of teams that can possibly win the Super Bowl, Mike. This is definitely a step in the right direction from opinions that you were hearing, Mike. Again, some of these people are saying 8.5 wins is even 8.5 wins is too high. They're going to go under. So again, are some people we could say that everyone hates the Steelers and the media always beats up on us. But Mike, right here, these people are favoring us in a sense by having us in that second tier again at plus 1,600 in the one breakaway tier. Here's the commentary. They went absolutely all in the 2025 season, but it all comes down to one thing. Can 41-year-old quarterback stay healthy and turn back the clock a few years? It's a lot to ask given how things went for him the past two seasons, but the Steelers think they saw enough from him in a lost 2024 season with the Jets to believe he'll thrive in a better situation. They might be right as long as his body don't betray him, is what the commentary was on this particular placement of the Steelers, Mike.
I think we might be more than a breakaway to be a Super Bowl contender. I think a breakaway. Wrong. I think a breakaway makes us an AFC championship contender.
I think we're championship. Listen, but that's being a Steeler fan. Like, I always feel that we're going to win. Even if I don't feel that, I'm going to say it. Like, the teams on the next list, the next tier is the up and comers tier. The Denver Broncos, the Chargers, the Vikings, and those first three teams, I like them a lot, Mike.
No, me too.
A lot of improvement in the last couple of years on the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Vikings. They're on the tier below us. And then on the fringe, Mike, we have the Rams, the Cowboys, the 49ers, and then finally the potential Cinderellas, the Cardinals, the Bears, the Patriots.
No. God,
I mean, come on. You're going to see the Bears in the Super Bowl. What a ridiculous thing. Mike, certainly more believable about the Steelers because the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. But I like the Broncos, Chargers, and Patriots. That's a lot of media hype right there.
Oh, absolutely.
For that team right there. I like what they're doing. They're building in the right direction, but I think it might be a year or two ahead. Yeah, they're building a nice little squad there.
I'm not impressed with New England at all. Why are people impressed with them?
No, I'm not impressed. They're going to be like a Cinderella or a team. I like what they're building, but I think they're still a ways away. Yeah, but I think the Chargers and Broncos. I think the Broncos are a whole hell of a lot closer than the Chargers. I do.
The Chargers have the best defense in the league, Mike. They let up the least amount of points. You have to put that in consideration.
I know.
But anyway, New England, they're hot trash. I don't know why anybody would give a good take on New England. That team is hot trash.
I think they're 3 years away from like contending to win the division.
I think, like us, they have a good organization. I think they're going to find ways to do things okay and be okay, but they're definitely not in a Super Bowl conversation. Certainly at this point, Mike, I can't even imagine having that conversation. And if they do, I'll just blow my brains out if the New England Patriots end up in a Super Bowl this year. Come on,
Oh, that's going to be great. You would love it.
Yeah, of course, right? Let's see, Mike. Also, I do have a couple more things I do want to get into before we start rounding third on the show, Mike. We do have Najee Harris did get moved to the active roster. Also, the Browns name Dylan Gabriel, the backup, over Shedeur Sanders. So the pecking order, Mike, as far as the Cleveland Browns go, is Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders.
Whew.
So do what you want with that. That is your Cleveland Browns. Any surprises, Mike? I mean,
that is a terrible quarterback room. I would have after I traded for Kenny Pickett, I would have went out and scoured for someone like Skylar Thompson. I would have not have drafted Dylan Gabriel, and I would not have drafted Shedeur Sanders. I think at best you could hope for those two is competent backup. I don't think either of those two are ever going to be a starter in this league. That is the worst quarterback room in the NFL.
Mike, and this is just something that I seen last night by Pomp. Pomp put out, not only do the Browns have a lengthy list of starting quarterbacks since 1999, they are now on their 8th different place kicker in the last 6 seasons. 8th different place kicker in Cleveland for the last 6 seasons. Dustin Hopkins is gone, replaced as Browns go with Andre Schmidt. Hopkins missed 9 field goals and 3 extra points. So Cleveland is just being Cleveland. And again, you got to love it.
Andre Schmidt sounds like someone who would have been on those Atlanta Braves teams with Greg Maddux and John Jones and Chipper Jones batting Schmidt. 5th. Andre Schmidt. Or he'd be like a power, or he should be a power forward on an average NBA team.
Yeah,
it should not be a kicker.
Like for an Atlanta Falcon or the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes,
that's what I'm feeling on that.
Pulling in $50 million a year in today's NBA. Yeah,
Corey Cordy says, Mark, I said 12 days, but I mean 40 Kabuli. Guys, they're relentless today. I love it, baby. Cody says, I don't know why everyone is so high on Deontay Johnson. He juggled more balls than Kim Kardashian. My man.
I tell you what, there was at one point in his career where Deontay Johnson was trending to have a better career than Scary Terry. Let that sink in, how fast your fortunes can shift in the NFL.
Deontay Johnson was terrible. The guy had butterfingers as long as I could remember. He started again as his career went on. He got worse and started running backwards. I don't know what in the hell went through his head. But Deontay was never my guy. You know that, Mike.
I know.
You tried to hang on as long as you could.
I tried, man. I tried until he just totally
walked past a live fumble during the game.
Well, yeah, that. Then a couple weeks later, I saw T.J. Watt look at a quarterback run the opposite way and go, yeah, and gave up on a play. So
you would give up T.J. as well?
No. T.J. has a better track record.
Okay,
he's a better track record.
Or B says, laugh my ass off. Baltimore just paid Kyle Hamilton $105 million for 4 years.
I think that was actually a good deal. Kyle Hamilton might be the best safety in the NFL.
Interesting.
I love me some Kyle Hamilton.
Interesting take there.
The highest paid safety in the league, though, for $25 million, that might be a bit high because the next highest is 21.
Let's see. Cody says, I like the Patriots quarterback. That kid maybe. I liked him in college, but again, we'll see. I just think that they're a hot mess up there. I think it might be longer than his term. Maybe he's going to be gone, and then somebody else comes on. Like Mike said, I think it's at least 3 years before New England becomes even close to being that team again. But we will see. Corey says Rashee Rice just got suspended 6 games. Yes. So they're going to be picking up something. I would think they don't sit on their hands for a long time. Kansas City needs something. They go out and they get it. So it's going to be interesting to keep our eyes on what they do as well. Jen says, great for Beanie. We need Najee to play to get a better comp pick. Yeah. And great for Beanie, Mike, as we said, a lot of people did expect him to be back on this team in some capacity. John says the Browns now know they are a 3-win team this year. They do nothing better than this. They do nothing better than winning 3 games a season, Mike. They have the Browns.
Yeah.
They're the Browns. We love them.
Najee's not going to count for our comp picks. Dan Moore, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, James Daniels, Dante Jackson are our comp pick guys we got to keep an eye on this year.
Okay. There's the list.
That was my thought too. And then I had to double check.
Corey said someone should paint a picture of different Browns quarterbacks over the years going through a revolving door at the same time, waving at each other through as they pass by. That would be funny. I'm telling you what, the board is on fire today, Mike. They're amazing, coming up with great things. And this MVP award goes to the board today. No two ways about that, Mike.
Hell yeah, it does.
Cody says Browns drafted Gabriel so they didn't have to get Shador, and their ownership made them do it so they could draw some fans to the games without brown bags on their heads. And Jen says Derpy just went live. Derpy live, everybody. Mike, let me get into a few more things, and then, as I said, we were going to start rounding third here in just a moment. So we went over the roster. We went over Mike. Is there anything that stood out to you from this 53-man roster that we cut down to yesterday that you would have rather seen? Is there anybody that left that you would have rather kept? Is there anybody that stayed that you would rather go? Anything sticking with you at this point, Mike, as we do wrap up preseason and the off season, and we're again just 11 days away from the Jets, Mike? Anything that you would change or have done different from yesterday? No,
there's not much I would change. Like, if it is, it's like end of the roster type guys. I went through the Steelers' initial 53 and my predictions over on our website. I think they had one more defensive lineman and offensive lineman than I did, in one left guy at receiver or at corner and safety. So it was like end of the roster guys. So there's nothing I would have done different.
Let me ask you this.
And I think some of these guys are going to be back.
Let me ask you this real quick. If Jalen Hurts was drafted by Carolina, would he be in the XFL by now? He does got a pretty good situation there in Philly.
Oh, yeah, because I thought he was a complete dog water quarterback.
A lot of people did.
Until they went to that first Super Bowl, and that, like, I was like, oh, shit, the guy he got it figured out. He can play. But, yeah, like, NFL, man, it's all about opportunity. in timing.
Yeah, if he was drafted by
And
Carolina and not Philadelphia, you might not be so high on the great Jalen Hurts. I'm just
yeah,
throwing that out there. A
yeah,
couple more messages here, Mike.
yeah.
Spice, thank you for that. Being he did get re-signed and is on the practice squad. That is some big news that we did get live right during the show, Mike, with his updates live real time. RB, you know what? I like Lou Nichols a lot as well. I really did. I truly thought that maybe he could come back as a practice player. I guess that's not out of the question yet. But Lou Nichols, I think Loudermilk for depth, you know, we kind of probably had to keep Loudermilk just because. But Lou Nichols, I did like a lot. John says Kansas City and the Eagles can draft. Austin and Connor are the only two Steelers left from the 2022 draft. They can't win a Super Bowl, shitting the bed on drafts and picking up free agent old guys. And Cody says if Jalen Hurts played for Pittsburgh, would we have won a Super Bowl by now? I don't. I say no.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'll say no because we don't have half the pieces in place that Philly had. It just worked out perfect for him. It really did. That he took advantage of the opportunity that was there, and fortunately, it was a good opportunity. Again, this Philadelphia team is better now than they've ever been in the history of Philadelphia. The Eagles, it really worked out perfect for the man, and good for him. Again, Mike, you know, he was able to succeed and have success from this. But I'm just saying, if he was a Carolina Panther at draft day, he would not be the same Jalen Hurts that we know and love from the February football that we watch and beat the Kansas City Chiefs as they did. Mike, I do believe that is my cue to say this. The Pittsburgh Pirates, they won. They beat the St. Louis Cardinals, Mike, 8-3 yesterday. They increased their record, improved to 58-75. Mitch Keller has a season high 9 Ks. They're back at it today. The Pirates played game 2 of 4 at St. Louis today at 7:45. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The Two Dumb Yinzers. Check it out, everyone. We got all of our links over there. We got our merch over there. We got the Dumb Thoughts written by Vanilla Thunder himself. Go take a look at my roster predictions and see how damn close I was to having this roster 100% right. I guarantee you it was much better than a lot of the talking heads that are around the team day in and day out. So check it out at the2dumbYinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of cool stuff over there. Mike does a lot of hard work over there. www.the2dumbusers.com. That's www.the2dumbusers.com. Mike, let's get into the trivia question of the day, guys. Stick around. This is a good one. This is interesting, Mike. Question of the day. Here we go. Put on your thinking caps, everybody on the board, everybody at home. This is the question of the day. The Jets have 5 Hall of Famers that were born in Pennsylvania. We're talking about the team that we're playing next, Mike. The New York Jets have 5 Hall of Famers from Pennsylvania. Can you name them?
Oh, God.
The New York Jets have 5 Hall of Famers that were born in Pennsylvania. You know what? I only went 4 because I don't know who the 5th guy is.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I don't feel fair to make you or the board or anybody have to try to get that 5th person. I will tell you right now, it was Joe Klecko from Chester, PA, is the 5th guy. Joe Klecko would have never got it, Mike. So of the 5 New York Jets Hall of Famers, tell me who the 4 are that were born in Pennsylvania.
How many went to Aliquippa?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Hold
Broadway.
on. Hold on. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every single day right here on YouTube. All right, Mike, what is your thought process? We're talking Jets. We're talking Hall of Famers. We're talking from right here in Pennsylvania, Mike. There was 5 of them. Joe Klecko was number 1 from Chester. We're not going to pick him, Mike. I need to know who the other 4 Pennsylvania-born New York Jet Hall of Famers are.
So we have Joe Willie Namath.
Okay.
Guy who just went in a couple years ago. Revis Island.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's in. I know he played elsewhere, won a Super Bowl elsewhere. We're going to go with Ty Law.
Okay.
As number 3. Can I get a position for number 4?
Nope.
Fuck you.
He's a football player.
Asshole. Can I get to college?
No, definitely not.
Be that easy. Jets. New York Jets. Jets.
Maybe I could tell you the high school too. Do you want his last name?
Yeah, anything to make it easier. Oh, God damn.
5.
And I it's gonna piss me off too, because as soon as you say it, I'm like, how the fuck did I forget that guy?
5
That's it. That's my
Pennsylvania
list.
born New York Jet Hall of Famers. Okay, so 1 was Joe Klecko from Chester. Number 2, you said Joe Willie Namath from Beaver Falls, which is right across the river from where we're at right now. Mike, literally just 3 minutes away. Joe Willie Namath is correct. Darrell Revis, about 10 minutes in the other direction.
Yeah.
Across the river. Darrell Revis is your pick, and that was correct.
Yeah. My buddy was actually able to go to his Hall of Fame induction.
Number 3 on the people that you were able to pick, Mike, you say Ty Law, also from Aliquippa High School. That is correct. So far, Joe Klecko, Darrell Revis, Ty Law, Joe Namath. Mike, the 5th person on the list is from Tyler Alderdice High School, where Wiz Khalifa also is
from. God.
Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin, who went to Pitt. That is why I could not give you the information, Mike. So, yes, Curtis Martin, Joe Namath, Ty Law, Darrell Revis, and Joe Klecko are the 5 New York Jet Hall of Famers from right here in Pennsylvania, Mike. 3 of them immediately close to us.
I know.
Alderdice also close. And
Alderdice isn't that. It's close.
Oh, it's very close. Again, this is where Wiz Khalifa is from as well. Mike, he went to Tyler Alderdice, Taylor Gang. Taylor Alderdice.
Some bullshit.
Even Mike, remember the witch hunter, she was on our show. What was her? The blonde, the ghost hunter.
Yeah.
The fortune teller. What was Dawn? She's actually from Taylor Alderdice as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me grab a couple of these messages though before we do get ready to wrap it up. John is saying it is more than just Steelers. It has been the Steelers philosophy that has been lacking. I really wish that Tomlin would create his own winning, and I don't want to say winning because we win. Just his own culture where the philosophy where people would say, you know what, this is really good at what they're doing. We haven't seen this by a Steeler team in quite some time. This team, I want them to be good so bad. And again, you want Tomlin to succeed and you want, all these things to happen for the right reasons. But at the end of the day, it's that Steeler philosophy. Where are we right now as far as the Steeler philosophy? Nobody quite knows. We're still for another year trying to figure out what the philosophy of this team is. It's not the 70s. It's not anything that we did in the early 2000s. So again, I would like to see some success that would kind of create that and give you what exactly the identity of this team would be, Mike. And maybe we'll get that from this year's team. Again, you have a lot of pieces in place. A lot of people came here. So let's just hope that they can do that and create an identity for the Steeler team and create that winning culture. And, again, we don't lose a lot, but again, we're in that middle gray area, and I'd like to get out of that for a while. Guys, Corey Beaver says, I don't know about those bums. I can't even begin to guess. They're all great athletes, but unfortunately they ended up playing for the Jets. Again, 3 of them very, very immediately close to where our studio is. And then Mike, and then Curtis Martin, big time player in the NFL. Corey said this. He says, you heard it here first. Mike just did the Jets chant.
No, I did not.
Legend. Mike, did you do the Jets chant?
I did not do the Jets chant. That is scandalous, erroneous, libelous,
and
sacrilegious.
And December. What's on the 2nd? I'm sorry.
I can't remember.
Mike
Aaron
also
Rodgers' birthday, maybe? I can't remember.
Anything if we do start getting ready to wrap it up for today, man?
Yeah, I got this little stat I pulled offline. The most games with the perfect passer rating. Lamar Jackson at 4, Peyton Manning at 4, Big Ben at 4 as well, Tom Brady at 3, Kurt Warner at 3. Not a bad list of some pretty good quarterbacks with perfect quarterback ratings.
Cool.
Yeah.
My thing is this. The Rocky Mountain College football team. You know how every year you find one of these kids that come out and have these weird, crazy names?
Oh, Jesus God.
This guy for the Rocky Mountain College football team, a college, looks like Division III, Indiana Jones.
That is great.
Indiana Jones. Again, every year there's a name that catches your attention, and this one, Mike, this time around caught my attention. It was Indiana Jones.
That is great.
We do want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys are always amazing and always keep things interesting. And again, Mike, today on an MVP level, no two ways about it. The board was again. I gotta throw them the game ball today. There's no two ways about that. And everybody at home, whether you're listening on your earbuds, maybe you're in the gym, maybe you're in the car, wherever you may be, we thank you too. If you haven't had a chance yet, go check out our social media pages. We are all over social media. Go to Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok, and follow us to keep up with the two dumb Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And if you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like, subscribe, and share button down below. It helps us out a lot. We greatly appreciate it. Also on the board, Mike, before we do get ready to go, Corey Beavers was saying we was trying to figure out who the guys were and said Jets. Mike, I'm going to play that back. You know what? I'm going to play it tomorrow and expose you for the Jets fan that you are. Also, John says Haley and LeBeau were the last identity guys. They had identities. You're right. Cody says Kaboli just reported Vanilla Thunder will say the Jets chant in the next 12 days. Give these guys the game ball, Mike.
Oh my God, you two are.
Come on, Hump Day has just been.
You guys are great.
Great. The board, you guys are always
awesome.
Corey says Cody, he meant 25. So that is, you guys, that's going to be a wrap, Mike, unless there's anything else that you got. Otherwise, we will be here tomorrow to do it all again. Tomorrow would be just a week out from the first day of Mike NFL games. Of course, next Thursday we'll kick it off. We'll be back tomorrow to continue to get ready and again follow everything as the day goes on and try to get as much scoop and information that we could possibly have for you tomorrow first thing in the morning to talk about this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Mike, of course, there's a lot of possibilities coming as Beanie Bishop just comes back to the Steelers. Wide receivers, guys, we're keeping an eye on the wide receiver position and many other things, as a lot of things could happen as stated on the board today in the next 11 days. And you know what? Those things just may happen. Hunter Renfrow, Mike, also on the waivers. A lot of things. Sebastian, thank you, and welcome to the board as well. Sebastian G, great to have you on the board. Mike, so again, a lot of things could be in play. The quarterback situation could be in play. They could be manipulating, moving around to try to move Skyler. So again, guys, tomorrow we'll be back to continue to get prepared and get ready for this New York Jets opener, Mike, in just 11 days from now. And again, tomorrow will be episode 800. We are breaking into season 8 tomorrow. So we hope to join you back. I hope you guys join us back tomorrow and we see everybody again at our regular time. Mike, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Great show, everyone. See you tomorrow.
All right. Again, thank you so much, everybody. You were awesome as always today. Again, have a safe hump day. We hope everyone has a great one. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We hope to see you then. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, have a great one. Bye-bye.